All right. Thanks again for being here. Today, we're going to talk to you all about how long do you need to be on your job to get a home loan? Okay. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So, first things first, for those who don't know, again, this is the last couple days to actually get registered for our 90-day home buy-in challenge. Okay, listen, we can help you just like we helped all the people that you're seeing right now on your screen. Scan that QR code or click the link below, or Instagram comment the word home to learn more. All right, so now, first things first. The minimum job length that you need to be on your job is preferably 2 years. Okay, preferably. But this can also just simply be 2 years of recent work history. Now, what does that mean? That does not mean that you need to be on your job for 2 years. That just means that you need to have at least 2 years of recent work history. Okay. So you could have had multiple jobs, you could have been in between jobs, and I'll break all of that down. But what if you went from business owner to having a job? What if you still own that business and you work your job? What if you went from having a job to now owning a business? What if you are a truck driver? We're gonna cover all of that right now. Okay. So again, if you have a job and you have a W-2, okay, which means they take taxes out, they're going to be looking for 2 years recent job history. Okay. Just showing that you have at least worked in the last 2 years. All right. Next is going to be what we call a job acceptance letter. Now, a job acceptance letter usually happens when you essentially you apply to work at a company and they send you an email and they say, hey, listen, we've accepted you to work at our company. Here's the salary, here's the start date. Okay. And of course, you're going to need proof of that letter. So if you want to get a pre-approval, which means you want to get approved for a home, okay? If you want to get approved for a home and you just have a job acceptance letter, then you're most definitely going to need to show proof of that. Okay, you're going to need to show proof of that job acceptance letter. Okay, that way it can show the income and the estimated start date, especially if you're like moving out of state. We had one person say, hey, I'm moving from Chicago to Texas. A lot of people trying to move from Chicago to Texas or just Texas in general. Anyway, Texas is one of the hot spots. But anyway, the thing is that I was telling him, I said, listen, you got to have a job. If you want to get a home loan pre-approval, okay, you got to show that you essentially have a job waiting for you. And once you do that, that is good enough to start the home buying process. Okay. Now let's talk about job gaps, okay, or time in between jobs. Okay. So long story short, if you have 6 months or more in between jobs, then you cannot apply for home ownership. Okay. I want you all to listen to that again. If you have had, if you currently have let's say, for example, I'll give you guys an example. Let's say, for example, right now we are in January. Okay. And the last time you had a job was, let's say, June of last year. So that would be more than 6 months, in between your jobs. So since it's more than 6 months in between the job, you essentially would have to wait until you're at the new job for at least 6 months. Okay. Now, here's where there's a couple different ways to get, no, I won't say ways around it or something like that, but you have to know a couple things. Number one, are new jobs okay? We'll get to that in a second. But the short version is you could actually be 1 day at the, well, I won't say 1 day, but one check stub at the new job. But if you don't have that 6 month job gap, the biggest thing is the gap. So if you have, let's say you're switching jobs, there's going to be some type of gap, whether there's a 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, whatever. Okay. As long as that job gap is less than 6 months, then you're going to meet the qualifications for home ownership. Okay. That's all they need to know. Again, all they care about is the time in between the jobs. Okay. Was it longer than 6 months? Was it 6 months or longer? If it was not 6 months or longer, then you have nothing to worry about. But if it has been 6 months or longer in between jobs, then you cannot apply for home ownership unless you have been on the new job for at least 6 months. Now, let's talk about new jobs in general. Okay. So, new jobs in general, these do count as well. Okay. So, check this out. Check this out. New jobs count as well. You just have to have one paycheck stub to start the pre-approval process. Well, Calvin, I thought you said that I had to be at the new job for 6 months. You only have to be at the new job for 6 months minimum if you had a job gap of 6 months or more. But if you had a job gap of less than that time frame, you could just be at the new job for just one paycheck stub, and you will qualify for home ownership. Okay. Again, we're going to be covering a lot of this inside of our 90-day home buying challenge. I see many of the people that's a part of our 90-day home buying challenge already starting to comment as well. All right. Now let's go ahead and get to the next page. Next page is why. Now, next thing is does a 1099 income, okay? Does 1099 income, which means whether you work for Uber, DoorDash, Amazon delivery, if you do hair, if you watch kids, I don't even know if people watch kids no more. That's a daycare, right? Um, but anything that you have that's a small business where there's no taxes being taken out automatically. You do your own taxes, you get a 1099, you are a business owner or you represent a company and they just pay you. It's on a contract basis. Does that money count? Absolutely. It most definitely does. Okay. However, there are rules to use your self-employment income. If you drive for Uber, that's self-employment income. If you drive for Amazon delivery, that's self-employment income. If you do hair, if you cut hair, and if you cut grass, anything that's a business, that is considered self-employment income. Now, in order for this income, by the way, any questions that you all have, make sure you all throw some of them, throw them inside the chat. We're going to answer a few of them. I got to run, but I'm going to try to get to some questions. But don't forget, guys, in our 90-day home buying challenge, all questions will most definitely be answered as well, too. Okay. Now, this income counts, but you must have at least 2 years of tax returns with this income to count. For example, if you drove for Uber only in 2024, but you did not drive for Uber in 2023, okay? So you did not drive for Uber in 2023, but you drove for 2024. That's 1 year, not 2 years. What does that mean? We cannot count that income. If you just started cutting hair, right? Or if you started cutting, let's say you were cutting hair in 2025, 2023, right? You started a business in 2023, but you stopped that business in 2024. We cannot count that income. We need we need 2 years of your business tax returns, okay? Your business tax returns in order to count that income. And obviously, you still must be working that business right now. Now, there is a workaround. There is a workaround. That workaround is you need to be you can go ahead and give them 24 months of bank statements, okay? 24 months of bank statements, but you will need 10% down with this program. You will need 10% down in order to make that happen. Okay. So again, if you say, well, man, I'm trying to get around these tax returns. I ain't filed no taxes. Listen, the banks don't care if you don't file taxes or not. Let's get this clear. There's ways to get around that. Okay. And for whatever reason, because sometimes there's business lawsuits, there's tax questions, there's delays, whatever. And again, they need you to put down 10% to be a part of that program. So, but you cannot just have started driving for Uber last month and think we can count that income. You cannot have just started delivering for DoorDash 1 year and think we can count that income. We need to, in order for us to count that income, we need 2 years. Now, there's a lot of changes that's coming up this year with credit and home ownership, things of that sort. They may drop that down to 1 year. A lot of people have additional income streams and they want to, and that's part of the reason why they got those income streams to be able to count that towards home ownership, right? That's the whole point. But the thing is, you cannot count it unless you have those things in place. Okay. So again, you got to have those things in place. All right. Make sure you guys go ahead and put your questions inside the comment section so we can get a few of them answered. All right. By the way, y'all know what time it is. It is story time. All right. So this is one of our clients. They were a part of our 90-day home buying challenge on last year. As a matter of fact, I met his father. This is actually the son of a client. I met his father. He was trying to sell his house. His dad was trying to sell the house for like $60,000, $65,000. I said, listen, you know this house is worth 80,000. He says, man, listen, if you can find me a buyer for 80,000, I'll pay you X amount of dollars. Sure enough, I sold that house for $80,000. And sure enough, I got paid what he told me he was going to pay me. Okay. He says, listen, I haven't met a real estate agent like yourself where, man, you just want to get the job done. You really look out for, you really gave me a lot of great customer service. That client has sent me well over 4 or 5 clients. And one of those clients was his son. He says, listen, I've bought properties, but my son won't listen to me. Sidebar, anybody ever learn something and then you try to tell somebody what you learned, but they don't want to hear it from you? Right. My wife tells me that all the time. She said, well, you heard this from somebody else. You want to listen to them. But anyway, saying that to say sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's who it comes from. Right. You know, you guys watch me and you say, oh, well, that's Calvin. You know, he's giving information. But I got family that don't listen to me. I got friends that don't listen to me. And not in a bad way, because again, you grew up with them. So again, the respect level is different. But anyway, I'm regular just like you guys, right? But anyway, this guy, he says, listen, what do I need to do first? I said, listen, you need to learn everything about home ownership, because he wanted to go into the process. I said, listen, I got a 90-day home buying challenge coming up. You need to go ahead and get aboard. He came aboard the challenge, followed every single step. That included helping him, gave him some credit tips as well. And he was so close to homeownership, he didn't even know it, but he just had to get a couple things in place. And again, we helped another young homeowner. I think he's like, he was under 25 years old. And so him and his girlfriend, they was like, hey, listen, let's, and she was right with them the entire process. But either way, he wanted to be a landlord, and he became one of the youngest landlords in the state of Illinois. Okay. So again, that's what we're doing here, right here inside of the 90-day challenge. All right. Let's go and jump into the comment section. Let's get some questions answered. I know you all most definitely got some questions. Let's get some of them answered. Give me a second. I'm going to move my face here so I can be a part of the party. Okay. And let's go ahead and get them on the screen. Facebook, I know you guys cannot see this. Instagram, y'all used to not seeing it. Say nothing new to y'all. Okay. But if you guys want to watch, of course, let's go to YouTube and search 850 Club Credit, and you'll see me right there. All right. So here we go. Let's jump into the comments real quick. Good Vibe Trades is in the house. Appreciate you being here as well. Yanobi's in the house. Good evening to you as well. Grinding for the bag. What's going on, sir? Hope all is going well. Yanobi says, we leaving you and the Chicago weather behind. Listen, for real, man. No, y'all remember when everybody was going to Arizona? What was that, back in like 2010 or what? No, 2011, maybe 2011, 2012. Everybody from Chicago was going to Arizona. Like, I know at least 6 or 7 different families that's now in Arizona. That was a big move. Then people start going to Atlanta. I think that was like 2015, 2016. Now everybody trying to go down to Texas, so it's all good. Y'all gonna end up back up here anyway, because as y'all can see, you can't escape this. You cannot escape this Chicago weather. It's gonna find you. Okay. but anyway, a lot of people moving down to Texas. A lot of great things happening down there as well too. But I heard it's been there's no taxes on this, but the prices are a certain way on certain things. So they try to offset some of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff going on down there for sure. Elizabeth is in the house. Yeah, so check this out. Elizabeth is in the house. Yanobi's in the house. By the way, they are part of the 90-day home buying challenge. Okay. Orientation starting on Monday. This is the last weekend to get registered. Registration is closing. Registration is closing. Okay. Let me go ahead and put the link inside of the chat here. So you listen, I see it all the time. People end up blaming me. Don't blame me. Okay. Don't blame me. Okay. I put the link inside down at the bottom as well too. Okay. What's going on, guys? Appreciate it. All right. And Yanobi and Elizabeth is holding down the number 1 and number 2 spots inside of the leaderboard, inside of the community. Okay. We got giveaways. We got all kind of stuff that's happening. And listen, we just getting started. And just so you all know, there's gonna be different challenges. Right now is the home buying challenge. We're gonna have a business credit challenge. That's going to be a lower your car payment challenge. There's a lot of stuff that's coming up, and we're going to be literally holding your hand the entire way. Now, this doesn't take anything from YouTube. YouTube is most definitely going to be here, and this is where all of the content is going to continue to be. But if you want to start asking questions to the people I interview, I'm going to start doing some of the interviews inside of the community and do like a regular interview. But at the end of the interview, the community members will be able to get their questions answered. It's going to be super dope. And listen, I told y'all in 2025, we're going to make sure that we help you accomplish the goals that we know about. Like, we know about business credit. We know about high limit credit cards. We know about improving your credit score. We know about lowering your car payment. We know about home ownership. We know about buying a car, leasing a car. We got that on lock. Okay. So listen, we're going to make sure that we put you in position this year. Okay. Somebody put in the comments, it's my turn. It is my turn. Okay. 2025 is your turn. Okay. Now, MS says, how much do I need for a down payment if I'm a first time home buyer? Great question. So if you go with an FHA loan, you're going to be looking at a 3.5% down payment. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the calculator out. And let's just say you're looking at a house that costs 250,000. Okay. Now I'm just using a random number. I know in some areas 250 gets you nothing. In some areas 250 is a beautiful home. In some areas 250 is a lot of home. Okay. But anyway, 250,000 times 3.5%, that's 8750. Okay. Now that's what you need, 3.5%. Keep in mind, that's just the down payment. This does not include your closing costs. Closing costs is usually it's different for everybody, but this is where when we get you paired up with the lender in your area. By the way, because this program, anybody that's watching this can benefit from our 90-day home buying challenge. Okay. Here, let me put, well, I put the link inside the chat, so you guys are good there. But I'm gonna put this up here just so you guys can see this as well. And I'm gonna move myself so you guys can see that. Okay. I'm gonna put myself right here, and I'm gonna make myself just a little bit smaller. All right. But anyway, that's what you want to do. Okay. So 3.5%, you still got to prepare for the closing costs, which is going to be your attorney fee, your title fees, and things of that sort. Okay. And in Chicago, that ranges around about 5 to 7,000, depending on what the taxes are in the area. That plus your down payment. Now, keep in mind, there are plenty of down payment assistance programs. We're going to be going over how to find the down payment assistance programs in your area, in your state. Does the lender give it? Does the area give it? There's so many down payment assistance programs. It's crazy. I did a home buying webinar this morning for a black sorority this morning, and they invited me out. This is our third time. And just in that group, we created 16 homeowners in the last like 2-3. This is now my third year doing it. So in the last 2 years, we've created 16 homeowners just from that group. Either way, I was telling him about that, and one of the girls that's a part of the South Suburban programs in near Chicago, just one city has its own $15,000 home buying grant for anybody that buys in that city. Now, by the way, that's going to be in the city of Hazel Crest, so y'all ain't got. Don't tell everybody yet. Don't tell everybody. But I got my hands on a few programs that's not even out yet. Okay, these programs will be starting in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but I'll keep you posted. But again, I don't know about every single state, but every state does have down payment assistance. And I'm going to walk you all through the processes of finding that information. Now, if you're in the community, again, people in the community are already starting to ask me. Elizabeth been already on me. She says, listen, I'm in Texas. How can I find down payment assistance programs? I got you. Okay. Don't worry. We got you. All right. But that's how much you're going to need. Now, if you go conventional, then you're going to need 3%, 5%, 10%, 15% down, depending on what you qualify for. But it depends. Again, most people end up using a FHA loan. And but again, we'll let you know all of your loan options, but prepare for 3.5% for sure. Okay. Next is, let's see here. Elizabeth, no. Anybody trying to watch them kids? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Marvin, what's going on, sir? Greetings, everyone. Rookie question. Isn't it true that regardless of how much gems and tidbits and out on wisdom, at the end of the day, your credit profile still needs to be worthy? I like that. I like that. So Marvin says, listen, we can listen to everything Calvin's talking about, but we got to have the score. And Marvin's right. Here's the thing. You do need the information. That way, while you're working on your credit score, if your credit score is not there yet, or sometimes it's not even credit score, right? You might be waiting on a tax refund to throw some money at a situation, or you may be waiting on a specific time frame on your lease. Whatever that is, Marvin is most definitely correct. You need to make sure that you all are keeping an eye on your score. Make sure that the score is where you need it to be. And if the score is not there, don't worry. Listen, I'm telling you all, I don't care if you're a 300 credit score, a 400, a 500, a 600. Listen, don't let that stop you from homeownership. Most real estate agents won't talk to you if your credit's not where it needs to be. Most lenders can't help you if your credit score is not there. We're not like that. We don't care when you're trying to buy. We don't care what your score is. We're going to show you everything you need to know to go into homeownership. When you're ready, we are ready. Okay? When you're ready, we are ready. Okay? This is the last weekend to get registered for our 90-day home buying challenge. In this 90-day home buying challenge, we're going to have 9 Q&A calls. Those Q&A calls are going to be, some of them are going to be in the morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, and some of them are going to be in the evening, I think around 8 p.m. Central Time, okay? And those are just going to be Hey, those are going to be holding you accountable. Those are 9 accountability Q&A calls. It's like, hey, how are we looking on your game plan? Hey, did you open up this account? Did you close this account? Did you use this account this way? Did you start saving properties? Did you talk to that lender yet? Right? Whatever that next step is for you in your journey, we're going to make sure that everybody's being held accountable. That's number one. Number two, we're going to have 3 master classes. We're going to have a 1-hour master class. I mean, mostly on credit and answering everybody's questions. We're going to have another master class on the entire home buying process. And then we're going to have another master class just making sure everybody's prepared for the after parts of home ownership as well. And of course, answering your questions along the way. Also, if you're looking to get a discount on our personal game plans, you got to be a part of the community. Inside of the community is where the 90-day challenge is going to be. Okay. But again, if you like, man, I wish I could have a discount on that game plan, not a problem. Join the community and you'll be able to get a discount on that as well. Okay. So again, I'm putting everything out here so you all can know that the resources are there to help you qualify for homeownership. Yanobi says, do you have time to talk about the other options they have? Like if they have up to 40% down on a home? I do. So what Yanobi's talking about is there's different loan programs, but short version is the more you put down, the lower your monthly payment is going to end up being. Okay. So for example, now you can put down a minimum of 3.5% with an FHA loan. However, there are other loans out there. There is, of course, a conventional loan. There's a USDA loan. There's a VA loan. Let's break those down. Now, I've never done a USDA loan. I started with one, but I never closed one. It's just my clientele. They either just didn't finish the process or they wasn't able to get a certain down payment assistance program with that particular loan type. It's not a bad loan type. That works for a lot of different situations for sure. But our lender is going to be breaking that loan type down, okay, inside of the challenge, okay? But anyway, 3.5% for FHA. Now, if you go conventional, it's 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% down. Now, can you put down more than that? You most definitely can. I was talking to a guy on earlier this week, and he was saying, man, listen, I want to put down 30% when I buy this house. He already has the money saved up. So like he just wants to have a low monthly payment. So he's got a lot of money just stashed to the side and just going to do it like that. Okay. Also, too, when you got that much cash, man, you really can buy your interest rate down. That's another low key situation, right? If you're listen, a lot of people have forgotten that you can lower. That's what I was going to talk about. I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I'll talk about tomorrow. So I'll talk about that tomorrow, how you can lower your mortgage payment. Okay. Now lowering your mortgage payment, write that down so I don't forget. So lower mortgage payment. Okay. Now the reason why you want to learn how to do this is because when you get the house, you may say to yourself, okay, am I stuck with this monthly payment for the rest of my life? At minimum, yeah. But I'm going to show you there are multiple ways. There's at least 2 to 3 ways to lower your monthly mortgage payment. And we're going to talk about that on tomorrow. I'm telling y'all, we got all the sauce here. The before you buy a house, when you buy a house, and after you buying a home. Okay. And this is still just a piece of all the information that's out there. Okay. Let's get a couple more questions in before I run up out of here. Elizabeth says, wow, that is awesome. We got you. We got you. Okay. Elizabeth says, I have hope. Girl, I told you we got you. All right. So now Elizabeth says, what are the terms for a bank statement loan? Let's take a step back. What is a bank statement loan? A bank statement loan is when you get a loan based on your bank statements instead of tax returns and potential check stubs. Okay. This is also very well known for business owners as well, too. Preferably, they would like to see some check stubs and some recent bank statements, but it just really depends on the loan. Like if you're getting a personal loan, then they're going to ask for a lot more documents. But if you're getting like an auto loan, they really don't ask for much, maybe some tax returns. But when you are getting a mortgage in this case, they want to see 2 years tax returns. That's at least, bank statements. They want to see 24 months of bank statements, 24 months of bank statements, as well as they want you to put down 10% because that's a riskier loan. Why is it a riskier loan? Because they feel like there's a reason if you did not file taxes. Okay. So again, we'll find out if that's the best way to do it. Now, Elizabeth, you don't have to put your whole situation on here right now, but inside the community, tell me a little bit more about if you're strongly considering going bank statements and why. Because if you have a traditional W-2 job, then it's going to be a lot easier for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to let you know all of your options, but that way I want you to know what all of your options are. So we're not I would say overpaying or not knowing what all of our options are in general. Because if you go with that loan type, just a bank statement loan for a mortgage, they're going to want 24 months of bank statements. And you must have that same income type currently. So it's got to be 2 years of getting that money, and you're consistently now getting that money, and it's going to be 10% down. Not saying you ain't got it. I know you out here balling, Elizabeth. I know you balling, but I'm just letting you know 10% is what they're looking for. All right. Oriel's in the house. Florida's in the house. I'm viewing a townhouse on Monday. I'm going to keep everything you said in the back of my mind, broski. Absolutely, man. Listen, Oriel has been watching us for years. He's damn near been here since day one. Okay, since 2015. Just soaking up all the information and putting everything into action. And now he is inches away. Right now, he's in the viewing process, looking at homes. So at first, let's give a congratulations to Oriel. Okay, congratulations to Oriel. Greatly is, man, appreciate you being here. But not only that, but literally saying, you know what, this is the year. This is my year. Put 2025 in the comments if this is your year. Put 2025 in the comments if this is your year. Okay, not just for homeownership, but just accomplishing your goals in general. All right. Either way, shout out to you, Oriel. Congratulations to you. I know we just getting started, sir. But keep us posted, man. We need these updates. I'm going to be going live plenty of times. We need to know when you get under contract. We need to know when your closing date coming up. We're going to celebrate you because y'all know, listen, we're in a different time now. We're in a different time now. People sometimes will not celebrate you. Some people don't even want to see you win. Some people, they do or they don't want to see you win. They just don't want you to do it before they do it. That's the world we live in now, right? I told y'all the story about my barber, about that situation, right? He's inches away from home ownership. He tells one of his friends, and they like, "No, man, right now may not be the best time to buy." Serious as ever. And then a few weeks later, that friend that told him it wasn't the best time to buy, whole time he was under contract. Ain't that something? Closed on the house before my barber did, just to say, "Hey, everybody, I closed on the house." Ain't that something? That's how people are. And it's not like that all the time, but some people don't want to see you win. I want to see you win. I'm not bragging on myself. You don't ever hear me bragging on me. I brag on the people that we help. And a lot of these people, they are a lot of these people in the chat right now. People that we've helped in the past. Okay. So make sure that you guys take advantage of that as well, too. Congratulations to you, sir. Felicia's in the house. Calvin, you've become a brilliance the world needs. Thank you for your great services. Thank you, Felicia. Don't worry, we're gonna be doing some business this year for sure, Felicia. Now, listen, I ain't gonna tell y'all about Felicia. I gotta keep Felicia a secret. I gotta keep her to myself. Okay, because we most definitely got some things we've been working on for sure, and working on some things behind the scenes. Thank you for being here, Felicia. You know, he says, "Whoop whoop, y'all better get in where you fit in." Absolutely. All right. JB says, "What advice for a young professional athlete who has high income but no credit? Should I buy a home?" Very good question. You know, as an athlete, it just depends on, I mean, you know, what type of industry you're gonna be in. Like if you're representing a team where you could easily get traded or something like that, keep those things in mind. Buying a home is not the problem because you can also sell a home fast too. I was gonna talk about that today or tomorrow. I may go live twice tomorrow. So, and that'll be how soon can you sell a house? Okay. After you purchase it. Matter of fact, I may go live twice tomorrow. I know some good games coming on tomorrow. I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels, man. I got to see the young kid get in there, man, the rookie. But anyway, as an athlete, again, you could be moved around. So you can most definitely sell. You can always sell a property, okay? So keep that in mind. It doesn't really matter too much. You know, anything can get sold. Just keep that in mind too. What some people do is they buy the property and they'll say, "Let me just rent it out." But you can always sell it too as an option or whatever you want to do. Okay, you can rent it out. You can Airbnb it. Short-term rentals are great. You get great tax benefits as well. That's why another reason why a lot of people have been doing Airbnbs as well. So keep that in mind. And if you don't have any credit, this is a time to start building it, especially if you're 18. Now, if you're not 18 yet, then you most definitely start getting some stuff down. I have some videos on my channel for people that are brand new to credit. Okay, just go through my videos, and you don't have to go too far back. Like you could just look at. I think, oh, man, I probably got to make another playlist that's called New to Credit. But just type in credit score or just type in credit, and you'll see where it says like if you're new to credit, like what to do, like what accounts you need, what credit cards you need, what credit builders you should consider. But that way you can at least get that out the way, and you don't even have to do like heavy stuff. Get the credit cards that I recommended in that video. Put it up, put some stuff on auto pay, bills you already got. You'll be just fine. Okay, you will be just fine. Elizabeth says, facts, Shinobi. Facts. Okay. All right. Elizabeth says, yes, it's my turn. Okay. It's my turn. All right. So now let's go ahead and do this. So Terrell says, hey, man, I suggest you not do any future collabs with Lisa because she's friends with scammers who are also in YouTube funding. You know what? The thing is that sometimes people don't know what other content people are going to do. But I know Lisa, she's most definitely not in the scammer side of things. But man, once people start talking about like crypto and stuff like that, people get kind of sketchy, you know. So again, crypto is not my thing, you know, but I hear you for sure. We'll most definitely keep that in mind. We want to most definitely make sure that everybody is getting the right information for sure. You know, he says, 850 Club put me in position to be a multi-millionaire. Listen, you know what? Yeah, man, it's a lot that we got going on. You know, there is a for those who are, well, man, I'm not gonna use that time for this, but I'll talk to you about that next week, some YouTube stuff. But listen, we most definitely trying to put people in position. That's for sure. That's what we want to do. All right. Elizabeth says that's what I need. All right. Money Cash says Wells Fargo has a $10,000 grant, but you got to finance through them. Money Cash, I think you told us this too. I think it was you that told us this. You the $10,000 grant, but you got to have the loan go through them. And there's nothing wrong with Wells Fargo, but man, we have seen them in the news recently on some mortgage BS. So, you know, hey, that's on you guys, but I'm not saying that everybody's going to do that, right? Because you can always refinance. So find out the stipulations on this grant money, get the grant money, and then just refinance with another bank, you know, but I'm sure they got some stipulations on how long you could be with them and such. So keep that in mind as well. All right. MS says, my credit is currently 743, but I don't want to put more than 10K down. You shouldn't have to. Yeah, you shouldn't have to, depending on how much house it is, though, too. Like if you're looking at a certain amount of house and the 3.5% is a 3.5%. But if you're not trying to put no more than 10 down, I would say a $200,000 house, you're gonna be all in at about 12,000. But Calvin, I'm only trying to put down 10. You telling me I got to come up with 12? No. Listen to this. That doesn't include down payment assistance, and it doesn't include seller credits. Right now is a buyer's market. Let me say that again. Right now is a buyer's market. What does that mean? A buyer's market means that there are less buyers than it is inventory. Okay. There's a lot of inventory and it's been sitting. There are investors ready to move on to the next property. Right. As I speak, there are investors ready to move on to the next property. Okay. What does that mean? That means that they're willing to give you a $2,000 credit, a $5,000 credit, a $10,000 credit. These banks want to help you. Keep that in mind. I'm telling you. Okay. Zeke says, what if you're a traveling nurse? Oh, absolutely. So just because you're a traveling nurse doesn't mean that you can't go into home ownership. So you have your residency. Okay. And whatever that residency is, like where you get mail, that is, or like where, like like what I always have to ask people is, where is the base of like who you like? If someone needed to call your human resources department, who would they call? Where are they stationed at? That's one option that you can have as your base, and you could buy in that base area if that's what makes sense to you. Another thing is too, is just because you're a traveling nurse, that just means you travel for work, but you also have the times in which you're not traveling. And when you're not traveling, where is that? And that's going to be your base. I'm so glad she asked this question. Here's why. Like I said earlier, people that want to buy like out of state, but they're not going to move to the state, that's an investment, and you have to put down a minimum of 20% down. Any property that the bank knows you're not going to be living at, you're supposed to put down 20%. That's a conventional loan. You're considered an investor. Okay. Now, if you're a traveling nurse, that's no different than a truck driver. Now, don't get me wrong. I know what you mean. It's like, hey, Calvin, I may be here for 3 months, 6 months. So I'm kind of almost living an Airbnb life almost. And that's fine if that's what works for you. But at the same time, though, I compare it to a truck driver, especially if they're over the road, because they work their station where they get mail. but then they may not be back for a week or weeks or days at a time. And you got to, so you can buy in the base that you're at. So, but you can still go into home ownership, and traveling nurses be making money. I know that. Listen, all drinks on Zeke. Let us know where you at, Zeke. And that says 300 can't even rent a movie on YouTube. Come on now. Come on now. Yanobi says, listen, she says, send a reminder. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share, and subscribe as well. All right. Oh man, y'all got some good questions tonight. This is the last weekend to register for the 90-day home buying challenge. Y'all better get in, man. So Grounded says, can't you also use your 401k loan money? Absolutely. But keyword 401k is a savings. Okay. It's an investment account. So I just want to make sure we're clear on words, because you're technically not loaning from your 401k. Okay. You're taking money out of the 401k, and that's just taking it out. Now, every 401k company, every investment company treats that a little different. It's your money. You could take it out. No one's going to hold your money hostage. Okay. It's your money, and you could take that out. So yes, you can. And I'm so glad he brought this up, because I had a client, they had like maybe about $4,000 liquid in their savings, but they had about $80,000 in their 401k. And he was like, man, I want to buy a house, but I don't have all the money saved. And we said, you got a 401k? He said, yeah, I got a 401k. He says, I didn't know I could pull out of that. Yeah. Let me tell y'all something. 401ks, it's made to be a long-term investment account. But don't forget, it's a glorified savings account. It's your money. Now, is there a penalty for taking money out? Everybody's program is set up differently. Okay. And plus, they don't send the money to you. They usually send the money directly to the closing, like at closing. That's normally where they send it to. Okay. So keep that in mind. But yes, if you don't have a whole lot of money saved, or you don't want to use your liquid money, and you got a 401k, man, you better use that money if you want to. Okay. So Manafee Jeremy and Instagram says, what's the investment? Oh, for the 90-day challenge. So you got to join the community. So comment the word home, and that way you can go ahead and check it out, and you can see that for sure. But the community is $29 a month. It is month to month. Okay. So if you ever wanted to get credit coaching once a week, plus the challenges, plus the calls, things of that sort, this is where that community comes into play. If you want to buy a car, but then you say, Calvin, I don't need a game plan for that. You don't. That's where the community comes in at. The community is going to be the solution for all of your credit needs. Whether you need to stay in there for 1 month, whether you want to stay in there for 6 months, 12 months, whatever you want to do. Most people, they keep staying in the program just to make sure that they get some advice, some guidance along the way. Okay? That's what we want to do. All right. So now let's see here. Elizabeth says, can that man give me some of the money to buy my house? Would he be willing? Listen, because he most definitely got a lot of money saved. He actually got like $160,000 saved, man. You get some squirrels in the world, man, where they just be saving and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's always great to see, especially when people like, they're making 40, 50, 60,000, and they just find ways to just kind of just not do a lot of things, or bring in some extra money and then not touch it. That's some discipline for sure. Okay. What's harder, saving money or eating certain foods? Man, listen, it's some tough stuff out here. All right. Yanobi says, I wish I knew a lot of this before I bought my first house. Listen, right? There y'all go. Elizabeth says, okay, I'll put it in the community so y'all don't have to know all my business. We're going to make sure of that. Okay. But Zeke says 2025, the traveling nurse is going to go into home ownership. Yanobi says 2025. Elizabeth says 2025. Elizabeth's not playing around. She's most definitely been asking us a lot of questions inside the community. That's what we are here for. Okay. Yanobi says, period. All right. Then Elizabeth says, don't tell anyone monitoring spirits is real. Listen, you got to know. You got to know. All right. And Elizabeth said, that's how the devil tries to block your blessings. That's why I have to move in silence this season. And that's another thing, too. You don't have to tell everybody your move. You don't have to tell everybody your move. But what we got to do, though, we got to make sure we're getting the education. And you all being here right now is getting the education. But don't forget, that's part one. We still have to execute what we are learning. Okay. Zeke says, yes, they will. All right. Absolutely. All right. So, and Oreo says, thank you. Most definitely keep us posted for sure, sir. Grounded for the Bad says, thank God for my credit mentor. I'm a few points away from being 700. Absolutely, sir. We greatly appreciate you just listening to everything that we taught you along the way as well, and the tips that that you've been going through for the entire time frame, man. Oh, Zeke says she's in Wisconsin. You down the street. That's what's up. But how do they determine your income if it's up and down all the time? Very good question. What they do is they're going to treat it. They may not treat you like commission, but they're more than likely going to do an average. They usually go like a 3 to 6 month average. Okay. And for all my people that's on commission, but you're W-2, there's people that's like you may work at like K Jewelers, or you may work at like at a sales place. And I say K Jewelers, I used to work at K Jewelers. K Jewelers was actually my first sales job. Hmm. I was working at McDonald's for forever, and a guy that I used to they used to frequent McDonald's at the time. He was like, Calvin, you will be great at sales. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you know this, but McDonald's is. Man, I'm telling you, you need to be around people. And I was like, okay, cool. And sure enough, he showed me how I worked that case. He was super excited I was there. I wasn't top in the sales and all that stuff. I changed a whole bunch of stuff at Case. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun, but short lived. And I end up in some other stuff later down the line. So, but anyway, so that to say, because that's commission. Anyway, if your income is up and down, but you're technically W-2, then what's going to end up happening is they're going to take an average. They're going to take a 3 to 6 month average and then kind of paste that out. Or they may just ask your human resource person to say, hey, what's her base? And then they'll take that and they'll calculate it differently. But don't worry, you're not going to lose out on any money. You're not going to lose out on any money. Okay. They'll make sure that you get all of your money, because these traveling nurses, y'all be making that money. Okay, Zeke. And then also too, Zeke, check this out. I don't know how far. Well, you see, I know you traveling, so I don't know how far you're gonna be. But listen, we're gonna be doing an in-person home buying event soon. Okay, so listen, I don't know if y'all trying to come to Chicago and hang out with me and Yanobi. Okay, well, of course, my wife and I, the team, y'all can meet a lot of the people. But we're gonna be doing a home buying event, so we'll keep you guys posted on that. That's not until like March, like almost beginning of April. So we'll keep you guys posted on when that's going to end up being. But listen, I told y'all we're doing everything we can to make sure we get into some homeownerships as well. Okay. And then Zeke says how much you qualify for. Absolutely. So what I tell people is, now every area is different, but in Chicago, a lot of people can do this. You can take how much you make per hour and then just add a zero to that. So if you make $15 an hour, at minimum, you could buy a house that's $150,000. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you make $20 an hour, then at minimum, you could buy a house that's around about 200,000. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. Now, again, if you're in California, New York, DMV area, probably not the entire DMV area. I think probably the DC area. It can get expensive. So those numbers may not work for you. But everybody else, those numbers should work for. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Adrian Lynn says 794 FICO, 752 Vantage veteran. It will be my first time buyer. There you go. There you go. Only debt is a student loan, which will be forgiven soon. Afraid my scores would drop drastically. Yeah, man, that is something that's happening too. Credit scores are most definitely dropping a little bit when these student loans are getting paid off. But don't worry, you'll be fine. You will be fine. You're not gonna lose 100 points, maybe 20 points, if that. You should be fine. Don't worry, Adrian. We're here to help you along the way. Let us know if you need a lender. Let us know if you need us to help you find an agent. Okay. Or of course, you join the 90-day challenge and we can get some things rolling for you as well, too. You are welcome, Zeke. All right, thank you, everybody. I won't hold you all up. I'm about to get up out of here. But listen, if you want to learn more about the 90-day home buying challenge, scan that QR code right there on your screen. Don't forget how many people we've helped. This is just a snippet. Some people, they needed a game plan, which means they needed us to take a look at their credit report and tell them exactly what to do so they can follow those steps and get in position. Some people right here on your screen were inches away from homeownership and they had no idea. Some of these people on your screen qualify for homeownership and had no idea. No matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, no matter if you're a single father, a single mother, whether you're in a relationship, doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you can go into homeownership. You can do this. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. I'm trying to remind you of what your goals are. These are goals these are goals you set. I'm just helping you accomplish your goals along the way. Okay? That's what we do here at 850 Club and Park Place Realty. All right? Jason says, oh, yeah, that's right, Jason, because you're truck driving now. So let's see here. Jason says, if you started your own business, do you have to be working for 2 years? Woo, man. Okay, so here, let's go back to this one. It's a good question. If you are a business owner and you have 2 years and 2 years tax, if you just started working for a business and you don't have a job, then you will not be able to use the self-employment income unless it's 2 years old. Now, the other way around that is if they switch you to W-2. Okay. So I have had clients where they were 1099, the job switched them to a W-2 just so they can go into home ownership. And then they end up switching back to 1099. Now, either way, I ain't telling you what to do, but I'm just saying some of these companies, they can switch you out. Otherwise, you got to wait 2 years tax returns to do it. Okay. 2 years. All right. Either way, guys, if you want to learn more about the 90-day home buying challenge, scan that QR code. This is the last weekend. This is it. This is it to get into the challenge. All right. Other than that, I will see you all on the next video. Have a good one.